Devon Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Key to the world.
Then I'll have a key, baby.
How's my UK fam?
I'll be giving you all my love.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, take it, take it, take it.
Bless the massive and crew in Amsterdam listening in right now. Switzerland's rocking with us too. My YouTube fam.
All my love.
Stop it.
All my love. All my love. All my love. All my love with you. Your love, lady. My love, baby.
Y'all ready to get into this one, fam? Y'all ready to get into this one? Feel like a real old guy, you know what I mean?
For me,
I'm an old soul.
baby.
I'm an old guy at heart. Some people say I'm a kid at heart. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm an old guy at heart. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So what I mean?
If I had the key to the world,
Big up all the elders, big up all the OGs.
make your dreams come true.
Them people rocking from inception till now.
If I had the key to your heart,
We appreciate ya.
girl, I'd make the fire start. If I had the key, if I had the key to the world, girl, I'd give you everything.
Large and massive in Seattle. Maypen Clarendon's rocking with us.
Give you love.
Love y'all, man.
Girl, I'd give you peace. If I had the key, if I had the key, if I had the key to the world.
This is Wayne on the same J Code, legal businessman. Bang, bang, boom.
I me say this a protege, eh? Homegrown with G Cola, what you say, eh? We make them know what reggae music we a play, eh? Hey, this is Protege, the one and only representing for G Cole, you know. Check it, ease out.
And we said them not got no style like we. G Cole, them not got no style like we. None of them no wicked, no wild like we. Accurate, Kabaka Pyramid representing for the #1 selector and radio host. It's all about G Cole, keep it locked. Accurate.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kalia. I'm hanging out with your boy G Cole on the Homegrown Show.
Yes. Welcome one and all. It is Homegrown with G Cole coming to the Massive Crew live across the globe. I appreciate y'all big time, man. Everybody rocking right now on Royal Zion Highness Radio. Thank you so much for rocking. Rubber Ranks Radio, large up on itself every time. Real Vibes Live. It's a vibe. Live 11 Radio. Thank you so much. So much. Those people watching live on the Homegrown with G Cole platform and of course on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel when you get off of here. It is Homegrown with G Cole. Got a lot over there for you. All right. Want to take a minute to say thank you so much for all the artists and musicians that passed through the Homegrown G Cole Live Acoustic Series. It's been awesome, man. Been a blast. We've been doing wonderful, and people have been loving it and enjoying it. So thank you all so much. I've been having a blast too. You know what I mean? It's just something refreshing, something dope, something fire. You know what I mean? Had the pleasure this past couple of days to listen to some projects that are in the works, on the way. And let me tell you, there's some good reggae music on the way. Not just from the names you know and whatnot, but there's some great reggae music on the way. So listen out for that, all right? Big up everybody, man. Miami-Dade County's rocking. West Palm Beach is here. Fort Lauderdale's in the building. Broward County rocking with us all day. I appreciate y'all big time. As always, we want to say thank y'all so much to our essential workers. You know what I mean? Our healthcare professionals, our nurses, our doctors, our first responders, our paramedics, our firefighters, all of our mental health professionals. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, all right? Social workers, educators, guidance counselors, thank you so much, all right? I have to rely a lot on our courier services, so thank you so much to our courier companies. I appreciate you. Thank you. Getting the packages here on time. I need y'all, man. I need y'all, all right? So, I think I'm getting old. So even today, Bobby Dean, lodge up yourself. You know, as we get into the topic of, let's just put it out there, you know, because it's a convo I have all the time. When it comes to sports, entertainment, music, media, the whole nine, you know, the voice of the OGs, you know, we call them the veterans, we call them the OGs, we call them the old heads, we call them the elders, you know what I mean? They're heavy, they ring heavy, you know, and a lot of times that title, I don't know how earned the title is sometimes, you know, people assume roles just based on age a lot of time and affiliation, you know, not what they've done or accomplished or whatever, but a lot of times just who they know, how long they've been knowing it, how old they are, you know what I mean? Gray here, so I must know some, right? Bob Marley, uncle, nephew, niece, sister, cousin, brother, wife, daughter, friend, neighbor, mechanic, so I must know something, right? So it's a lot of things going on, and it affects the music. And I think I'm right on the threshold of being the old guy and rocking with the youth. I think I'm young enough to rock with the youth. You know what I mean? I'm going to get to the big 4-4 in about next month, the best month ever, July. I think it puts me in that nice promising spot of being able to relate to the youth, because I'm still one of them. Overstepping my bounds here. Relate to my age group, right? And relate to the youth. And then, of course, be able to understand, appreciate, and relate to the OGs too, right? Love that, love them, love the culture, love the music, and it is what it is. But I think I'm an old guy at heart. A couple of signs that I realize that I'm getting up there. Fellas especially, you can relate, right? When I was in my 20s, I just bought sneakers that I like. You know what I mean? Sneaker collection was rocking. It was dope, it was fire, a whole bunch of sneakers that I liked. Nowadays, when I'm buying sneakers, I'm thinking comfort. Sure sign that you're getting old, buddy. So if you up in the shoe store trying to buy some sneakers and Wagwan Lawrence, and you worried about the comfort, it's a little cue, a little indicator that you getting up there. You're getting up there, all right? So I just figure more or less, you know, once I started hanging on to that, then I realized, man, I'm getting up there. So fellas, if you didn't want to admit it, I'm going to say it on your behalf. If you roll up in the sneaker store and you're looking at the sneaker not necessarily for the flyest, but the most comfortable, right? You getting up there. You getting up there, right? Signs that you're already there. I mean, I ain't there yet, but signs that you're already there. If you own a pair of New Balance, you up there. Yeah, man. If you own a pair of New Balance, yeah. I'm just saying, right? Another way I figured out that I'm kind of getting there is I hate loud music, like in like cars. You know what I mean? Like I'm driving and there's an ordinance going on. There's a law about to be passed right now. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but there's a law about to be passed. Don't quote me or the accuracy of it, but it's an article that I read today that says on July 1st, right? On July 1st, put it up right, you know. Yeah. It states here, on July 1st, loud music statutes comes into law. According to this law, audio coming from a vehicle that can be heard from a distance of 25 feet or more can result in a traffic infraction. I'm sure, because sound travels, so I'm sure if it's traveling 20 feet and it ain't 25 feet, which is not far at all, and it ain't that loud, it's all good. But I'm sure people are talking about the really loud stuff. You know what I mean? It says it is punishing the amplification. How loud the music is, Barry University law professor Terry Day says. The statute also specifies that sound louder than necessary near locations like a church, hospital, or school will be considered punishable as a non-moving violation. The only concern might be a selective enforcement, and although the statute provides some parameters for when the sound is too loud, it still is a little vague, they said, right? So here's the thing. Wall Street, man, business what you want to say, you know. If you own a pair of New Balances, you all right? Don't get me wrong. First of all, you know what? New Balance some expensive sneakers, all right? But yeah, you own a pair of New Balances, you seasoned, bruh. Stop tripping, all right? It don't matter how trendy they are. You know why they're trendy right now? Because this is South Florida. This is where the old people rock out, all right? So you know what else is trending down here? Ben Gay. Wall Street, you know what else is trending down here? Ben Gay. What you got to say about that? It is South Florida. This is what happens. Not true, Clementine. Not true, Clementine. You know the tingle, right? Lawrence, you feel my pain. Wall Street, you can keep your New Balance, right? Let me type it into, you can keep your New Balances, all right? Don't trust me, in a couple of years, you're going to see me rocking my New Balance flyers or whatever, right? So, man. Couple of different signs that you're getting up there, right? One is, I hate loud music. No, let me clarify that because I do have an issue with this whole law too. When I was younger, 20s, early 20s, I had a system in my car. I bought a system and put in my car, like everybody else. Most times though, my windows were up, even if the music is loud. And that was primarily because I'm not a big fan of the heat. I'm in South Florida. So, not the Miami heat, but just the heat, right? So, My windows are rolled up. Stuff was loud anyway. And there are times when it's down. But there were always some things that I was conscious of. I wasn't blaring music in residential areas and in my neighborhood. I would never, like when it was nighttime and I know people are in their homes getting ready to go to bed, it's not going to be on like that. I'm not going to be pulling out of my driveway with loud music on like that. Now, if I'm driving down the freeway, something like that, you know what I mean, interstate road, whatever, I might have my music up, but some people don't care. The other thing too, which is a major determining factor for me, is I say I don't want the Velcro, the old people them want. Listen, me now, Wall Street, we're not getting specific here. New Balance. Nobody defend your New Balance. As a matter of fact, post a picture with you in a New Balance. Velcro or not, right? New Balance, you getting discounts in places. You rocking your New Balance, you done got a discount somewhere. You've got that senior rocking, the Sizzler wherever. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the loud music, I also was very conscious of what I played. Because I did not want to offend anybody. And it's not just about driving about offending everybody, but let's keep let's call a spade a spade. There's language that I would not be shouting. Doesn't mean I don't use it, but I would not be shouting in earshot of my elders and kids and just folks I didn't know. You know what I mean? Wherever, I just wouldn't do that. So if I wouldn't do that, then why would I play the music that sounds like that, right? So, and now I've been in situations where I'm out with my kid or my godkids or whatever the case may be, and people pull up with loud music, which loud music is loud music. But to hear certain things blaring from speakers is not, it's not cool. It's not cool. So, sure shot sign that I'm getting old is that the loud music is getting to me. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Yesterday I was at the gas station. Somebody pulled up. Market a man thing sound clean, so I'm not telling a lie, but he pulled up. Loud as all hell. So if you were on your phone or if you're talking to somebody or whatever the case, that's another thing too. They don't think about the fact that you could be disturbing somebody else, because how many times has somebody pulled up and you're having a conversation? You can't have that conversation no more because you can't hear nothing. If you're on the phone, you can't hear nothing, right? The thing about, and this part of it you'll learn in traffic classes and stuff like that, with the music too loud around you, sometimes you can't hear emergency vehicles, right? Stuff is distracting, all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying hey, if you love your music, I don't want to feel it. I'm not mad at that. But there's limits and levels. And sometimes in this day and age, I think people blare the music not just because they like loud music, but because it's derogatory and they want to make a statement. They want to give the I don't give a F vibe, right? Because I see that a lot where people, is it just me? or do you seldom hear them blaring music that doesn't have expletives in it, right? Most times when you hear music being blasted, it's always songs that have curse words and stuff like that, or the content is derogatory, and it makes you think, are they just trying to make a point, right? So, but here are the biases. I'm gonna tell you the biases, and this is just the truth, whether we want to admit it or not, right? Loud music is also a problem if you don't like what you're hearing, because look at it this way: I'm a D Brown fan. I have never heard anybody coming down the street just bumping the heck out of some D Brown. But if I was driving and somebody was coming down the road playing the hell out of some D Brown, I don't think I'd be mad. I'd still say, yo, I can't turn on like a still no more. I got a bang, bang. I remember hearing somebody going down the street blasting some Sizzla Kalonji. I did think it was excessive, but I wasn't offended. So half the thing pretty much is, one, we have our biases. So if it's something that you don't mind hearing, it's not going to offend you as much. If it is something that you mind hearing, then it will offend you more. Now, if I'm just a regular Joe, I'm a regular guy, right? Lawrence, I'm a regular dude. Law enforcement are regular people too, aren't they? That's what I try to tell you, right? So if I have this feeling, if I feel this way about the music, having my biases based on what I like and what I don't like, aren't they going to have that too? Here's what my concern is when it comes to this whole loud music situation and ordinance and the law, if and when it does go into effect. The truth is, when laws go into effect, they're targeting specific people, right? A lot of times, especially in this day and age. Who is that targeting? If people are driving down the road blaring Sweet Home Alabama, are they likely to get pulled over? As much as if you're driving down the road blaring Juvenile's Back That Ass Up. Another sign that I'm getting old. I use Juvenile as a reference, right? So, thing is, if somebody driving down the road playing, what do you am I listening right up? Some Kodak Black versus driving on the road blasting some Taylor Swift. Are you telling me that the person is going to pull over both of them equally? I'm willing to bet you no. That's my gripe with laws like that. The other issue I have with laws like that is this. We don't need any more than necessary police, civilian interaction in our black and brown communities. We don't need it. We see what happens and how it happens when police interact with black and brown people a lot of times. It don't end up good. So we don't need another reason for mothers and fathers to fear their kids driving out the house now. And then guess what? Some people are going to say, well, tell your kids to turn the damn music down. Right? Tell your kids to turn the damn music. Because I guarantee there are people are already saying that in the Lawrence. Well, once I say that, they're going to be like, well, teach your kids to do this, teach your kids to turn music down. I think they've been taught, because a lot of time they can't pull up in a mommy yard with that. Them knocked on the whole neighborhood down this, but them turned off before them reaching it, because Mom Dukes will rip you and the stereo out of that. Right? And yes, they're going to have to exercise their due diligence and be a little bit more respectful. Because like I said, I do think people blare certain things because they're trying to be statemental. They want to make a statement. They want to prove a point on whatever the case may be. And I say that because I don't hear people blaring positive music and clean music and whatever the case may be. They only blare it the version that's going to be offensive. And I'm not surprised too, because why do people put loud music in their cars? Let's just call a spade a spade. It's not just because you love loud music. It's for the attention. We don't want to admit it. I was a kid too. I love music, but the stereo that comes in there is loud enough if I just like loud music. And plus, I could put a system in there and still make it even louder, but I don't have to play music for the entire neighborhood. I don't have to play music so people 5 miles ahead of me can hear it. Right? So at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff is for attention. So people can say, yo, I'm have a system in that car. The system, turn up. So yes, you can do something about that. But aren't there going to be some casualties, some collateral damage between now and whenever the next riots start? Because this, to me, just about is this is the first floor of some more riots. If a law is passed that says we're gonna pull you over and ticket you for loud music, right? And then again, thus encouraging more police civilian interaction, and it ain't friendly interaction either. And on top of that, we all know that who's more blasting music going down the street, in all honesty. Then again, I won't even say that, because depending on what neighborhood you're in, it is what it is. Because I've heard white kids driving on blasting music. 9 times out of 10 is black music that they're blasting too. So who knows? They might get pulled over. Again, I just never heard anybody, unless it's a truck, a pickup truck that don't give a damn, you know what I mean? And they're into them thing and them rock them country and rock and roll, which to each his own. But for the most part, when it comes to the young kids are driving on the street blasting hip-hop music. White or black, they're blasting hip-hop music, and it's never the clean version, right? So for me, I anticipate nothing good coming off that. And nobody can tell me that the goal is to get people to lower their volumes. No, the goal ain't for people to lower their volumes, right? So y'all could keep that. Or, like I said, a sure shot that I'm getting old, right? Wall Street, I'm sorry to tell you this, man. You got some New Balances. You're not a kid anymore, player. You ain't a kid no more, all right? Another couple of signs that you're getting old, or that I'm getting old. Anytime you discover the word hip. And I'm not talking hip when old people trying to be cool and be like, oh, that's hip, I'm so hip. I'm talking about knowing that there's a part of the body called the hip. When you are young and in the best shape of your life, you do not have a hip. You don't know what a hip is, right? When you're getting old is when words like hip come into play. Don't hurt your hip. It might throw your hip out. Oh, snap. You fell and broke your hip, right? Because we done fall in all our lives. Never broke no hip. Don't know nothing about no hip. A sure shot sign you getting old. Using words like hip. Using words like hip. It definitely is a revenue generating thing, Lawrence. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Another sure shot sign that you're getting old is that you go on vacation to rest. Vacation has always been important to me. I've always been going on vacation, right? Since I was a little one. Since my daughter was little, we'd go on vacation, we'd do whatever, but it was always about the itinerary. We're going on a vacation, we're going to get our itinerary together. What we doing? You know, if it's a cruise, if we get off here, what's the plan? We planning the itinerary. What we doing here? If we're flying places, every day we got something planned. You know what I mean? Every evening when we come back from vacation, exhausted. Oh my gosh, that was a great day, right, kid? Yeah, Dad. Boom, boom, boom. Dinner, knockout. Next day, at it again, right? You're on vacation to have fun, do some stuff. One sure shot sign you getting old. You go on vacation to rest. Am I the only person that's been on vacation? Because back in the day, if I go on a vacation, it's 10 days. I got to be doing something, because if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm wasting my vacation time. My strategy was to drive. If I was driving somewhere, which I hate doing, because I always feel like if I didn't fly somewhere, if my phone can still be reached, I'm not on vacation. You know, if I didn't get on a ship or get on a plane, it wasn't vacation. But here's the thing. I would also drive in the night. My wife couldn't stand it, but I would drive in the night. She's like, why don't you drive in the day when you're not tired or whatever? I'm like, nah. But the reason why I drove in the night is because if I was driving in the day, I counted that as one of my vacation days that I was wasting. You know what I mean? So I did all I could to maximize my vacation days, right? Sure shot, I'm getting old. Day 2 of my vacation, I'm still lounging in the bed. Who goes on vacation to lay down and watch TV when you could do that at home? I do. I do. Who goes on vacation just lay out by the beach? I do. Who use terms like, let's not make any plans. Let's just play it by ear? I do. Sure shot signs, you getting old. Lawrence, talk to me. You going on vacation talking about, I just want to sleep, I just want to rest, I just want to relax? Getting old, baby. Getting old, right? You're going on your vacation, you better look in your luggage and see if you got any New Balances in there. Because if you got some New Balances up in there and you're talking about you going on vacation to rest, whoo, you're up there. You're up there. You're up there. All right? I'm just saying that. And then another thing you could think about for me is when I was younger, I rarely took my vitamins. You know what I mean? I had them at the house. People be like, yo, you taking vitamins? My mother, you talking, hey, mom, on the phone, have you been taking your vitamins? Now, clockwork, just part of life. Taking your vitamins. You know when the vitamins are running low. You know when to get more. Honey, we're running low on vitamins. Or your wife be like, how are you in the vitamins? Got another week. The fact that you know exactly how much vitamins you got left is amazing to me. You're getting old. Yeah, I got about another week, babe. So you're going to order some more of the vitamins? Okay, cool. I need some multivitamins, but the vitamin C's I'm good on. Right? Yeah. And then sure shot, you're getting old, right? Is you taking multivitamins, you're still taking vitamin B, D, and you're like, that ain't not a multi too, right? Right? The sure signs you're getting old. If you get up in the morning, even though there's vitamins, right? And you ready to take your stuff and you're looking at your hand and you got like 6 of them, right? You got 6 of them. You got echinacea, vitamin C, you got vitamin D, B complex, right? 2 of them, the multivitamins, right? And any other thing you got, maybe your hip medication, because you know old people got hips, right? So is when you realize, damn, I'm on the other side of the hill. Life's a hill. You ever heard the term over the hill? Life's a hill, right? Ain't no shame in my game. I'm going down the other side of the hill, right? So it's just, Lauren, just keep track. June, what's up? How you doing? You keeping track of your vitamins, don't you? Not you. Julianne said, funny thing, the only time I get to watch TV is when I go on vacation. When I'm home, I got too many things to do. That's the concept of vacay for me. I was talking to my dad today, and I was saying to him, I gotta go, man, because even if I'm home, if I took off a week and I didn't leave, there's stuff to do. I'm gonna have to go clean the pool. I'm gonna have to do my hedging. You know what I mean? When I'm gone, the pool guy comes in and takes care of it. You know, the lawn guy is always doing his thing, but still like edging and all that thing. I mean that. If I'm home, I gotta do it, right? If I'm home, I gotta do the vac. I gotta just do something. I gotta cook. I gotta do something. So go on vacation. You know what I mean? I'm a vacation schedule, right? In terms of I'm loose when I'm on vacation. My wife got to be like, yo, no. I have no concept of cost and budget when I'm on the vacation because I'm in vacation mind and mode and frame of mind and it's whatever, not the real world, right? So when I'm over on my vacation, I'm doing my things. Let me do what I do. June, you know what I'm talking about. After I take my vitamins, right? So if you're sitting there trying to figure out if you're getting old, you know if you're getting old, by the way. You know. But just a couple of things, signs. Again, you start buying sneakers based on comfort. You know what I mean? So you ain't just buying the fly sneakers no more. You're buying the comfortable ones. You getting old. I do not recall ever when I was in my 20s such a thing as an uncomfortable pair of sneakers. They either fly or they're not fly. And it wasn't like ladies walking in heels and you're doing it for the look, but it's hurting. No sneakers hurt. They were just fly, right? When you start get old, you're talking about the arches. You're buying the sneakers, and instead you're looking at the side of, yo, this fly. What's the first thing you do when you're getting old? You put your hand in the sneakers, they start feel the support and the cushion in the hand. Yo, that thing has the so. Then start feel the sides for say if it come up too solid like the Pumas, you know what I mean? You start. That's when you getting old. That's when you getting old, right? That's when you're getting old. Again, we've established if you own a pair of New Balances, you already old. It doesn't matter what version of it is. It don't matter what. If it's even a basketball New Balances, you old on the court. All right? If you wearing New Balances, you're there. You're there. All right? If loud music bothers you, because when we were young and people are blasting their music, it wasn't our music. We almost didn't hear it. We tuned it out unless it's something we want to hear. You know what I mean? But right now, if you're chilling or you're in your car and somebody passing you loud music, you're like, turn that down. It bothers you. Getting old. you're getting old. Again, anytime you use the word hip, you know what I mean? Saying the hip this, the hip that, because the young people don't know you ain't got no hips when you're a young person. I've been falling all my life, tackle everybody in a football, get tackled as a goalkeeper at one point in time. So, I'm flying through the air and I'm good, right? When you're getting old, you have a hip and you got to be careful not to fracture it or break it, right? You never had it when you were young. Signs you're getting old, right? Again, you also go on your vacation to rest, you getting old. Check your pill count, your vitamins, you getting old. If you're on top of your vitamins, all of that stuff, June, you getting old. You know what I'm saying? But am I lying though? Am I lying? Am I lying? Knees. Oh, sure shot. Sure shot. Let me tell you something. I have sprained ankles. You can't get me off of the ball field. Right? None of that. I had bicycles growing up. We just hopped on. We just rode, and we rode for hours, you know what I mean? I remember when I was in boarding school, I had my bike, I'd ride from St. Mary to Youre. That's all the way downhill. And then I'm riding back from Youre all the way uphill. No problems. Just do that. Not even sweating. You know what I mean? No sweat. Bam. Now I'm at the bike shop getting measured properly because, you have to have your extension right. Because if your extension ain't right, your knees get messed up. You got to make sure the seat's right so your compartments are intact. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden now, stuff be hurting that never hurt before. I think some of this stuff we ain't had before. You know what I mean? I think one of them days when I went to the doctor, they slid some stuff in without saying nothing, like your hip. I'm just saying. Them knees thing there, who knew that there was an appropriate way and height that your pedal's supposed to be from the ground with your leg off at full extension so that you don't mess your knees up? Who knew that you weren't supposed to be running in walking shoes, right? When you're young, you put on the shoes and we'll go best with the outfit, right? When you get old, you're buying a whole bunch of comfortable shoes to match your outfits, right? Signs you're getting old. Lawrence, it ting turn up. Bobby Dean, it ting out there, man. It ting out there. June, them knees, right? So I'm just saying, short shot you getting. It's all good though, because we fly old. We're fly old. You know what I'm saying? We fly old. What's wrong with you? Another shot. This is one of the things that I think is a sign that you're getting old. Ready? You don't care what you say, right? When you're younger, you're reserved. I don't toss my opinion out there. But if you ask me, I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? And I've always found it funny. I said, like, these old people, like my grandma and them, they don't care what they say because they're real old. Grandma 90 years old. Grandma don't give a damn. She say what she say. She say what she feels. She say what she don't feel. Sometimes I think she's just saying it just to let you know I'm 90 and I can say it, right? And that's, I think we're getting there too, because there's some things that we, some opinions that you might be giving now that you would have given 10 years ago. They'd be like, yeah, man, everything, yo, I cooked, babe. This is how this tastes. Yeah, man, nice, man. Thank you. Give thanks. Why don't you turn on it? You know what I mean? But no, she give it to you. Hey, babe, taste this. God, what is this, babe? It's not good. No. Them kind of thing there. Your daughter come home or your son come home with him friend them and go, hey, this is such and such, she cute. You be like, oh, such nice kids. No, you get a little old. Hey, but you be like, damn, she ugly. Like, Dad, she's right here. I'm just saying. I'm sure she heard that before. I'm not the first person told her that. You know what I mean? Get off my lawn. One time, when you're younger, you tell your children them, tell your friend them, don't do this, right? You know not to do it. Why don't you not do it when your friends are there and tell them not? Listen, man, don't park in front of the thing so that I have it when I'm coming out. You know what I mean? Tell them just tell your friend them don't park on the grass. Now look how much room out there, son. When I can't drive, tell your friend That's what you do when you young and your children. Now, you go out there and cuss off everybody, not you. Which one I wanna park on my grass? Hear me, man. On the ground yard, don't park on my grass. You don't know, say enough for park on my grass. You know, so where you park up in front of the things all the way to my garage door, I can't come out. Yo, no man, me telling if a leg up from boy. You understand me? A warm tuna. Hey, when you getting old, you ain't got no filter, man. Signs you are getting old. Hey, Loris, how are you? Loris says, the older my dancing feet get, the more I love that and other music genres. Well, boy, Loris, I got to give you props on that. I remember as a kid growing up, we used to listen to a lot of CNC Music Factory, a lot of Snap, a lot of Technotronic, a lot of, you know what I mean? Which was, even though it was pop, hip hop, whatever, you know what I mean? But you're dancing. It's a lot of dancing and, Nope. Right about now, you're in Goody Mob said people don't dance no more. All they do is this. Oh, that's, yeah, man. Chilling. Head nods. You know, no matter how fast. If the song fast, you nod your head faster. If it's slow, you nod your head slower. Ain't no dancing going on. And if you see a man out there dancing, his woman, pressure them into it. Loris. The man that want dance. Because men don't, that's another thing too. Men don't use words like dance. We go out and we will a vibe. We go out and, rock and groove. We go out place to listen to some music. Lawrence, now so, when you're leaving your house, Lawrence, and you got a spot where you say, I check out, I listen to some tune, and I listen to some music and all that vibes. Women say stuff like, I'm going dancing. I have never heard a man from the day I born till this day say, I'm going dancing. But women will say, I'm going dancing. You and the man in the CM house are going at the CM car. You got all the vibes. You going dancing. Right? Which means you're ruining this man's evening. You know what I'm saying? That rent a tile or a chair and stay, so yeah. But dancing, what name so? I remember the days of dancing. It was a running man. It was all them things. Man, I tell you, say, when you're done, you sweat up. Right? Now, if you look at Miss Man Friday, no, sir. It not work for me. It not work. Ladies, on the stop pressure, the man about on the dancing thing, I'm about to know one dance. About it. And the only reason the man out there dance with you is because him know say if him don't go out there, you have something up your back pocket and you're going to see like a young boy and talk about say, it's all right, you mind if I go dance with this guy right here? Because you are think about dancing, the man I think about bubble up, like a young boy and wind up, but he never nice mummy. The giant say mummy. So you in another place I talk about, yeah man, Lawrence, I'm going to go, since I know you don't want to dance, sit down here and just drink your thing. I'm going to go out and dance with a young man over there. He looks like he likes to dance. And when you go out there, the young man grab you and the pan, hey mummy, and come throw on your waist, boop. And then drop a lady song. And you stick the pan and your husband there, Jesus Christ. Lawrence over the January star. She pregnant by the time we left. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, he want to dance. Set up the man. Ladies, on the wrong. I'm going to drop a one tune real fast and we're going to come back to this convo because we got something we got to talk about, all right? It's yours truly, G. Cole. It's called Heart of Gold. Let's get in.
Woo, 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 yeah. This is for my baby. I love the way that you woo. And in times like these, when the world is so cold, you've got a lip so sweet and a heart of gold. Sometimes I find myself I stop and just stare in your eyes, and then I catch myself and I realize that you're a beacon shining bright in my life. And I just send you to me, so I'm gonna make you my wife. Nothing I wouldn't do for you, baby girl, and that's real. Cause happiness is what I want.
Large up June.
Call the reverend, make a move and seal up the deal.
Loris.
Whoa. You got my heart a beat, right out of control. And when you smile with me, I see right to your soul. And And in our times like this, when the world is so cold, you've got lips so sweet and a heart gold. Girl, our future looking very, very sunny and bright. I know sometimes, girl, we fuss and we fight, but then we make up by the end of the night, the night, the night, the night. And anything you want from me, baby, you just say the word. I'll never give you all the things you deserve, but I'ma love you till I die, and that's my word. That's my word. You got my heart a beat, right out of control, out of control. And when you smile at me, I see right to your soul, right to your soul. And in our times like these, when the world is so cold, you've got lips so sweet and a heart gold. I'll give my loving to you only. It's you and I for the rest of my life, for the rest of my life, and I will never leave you lonely.
Hey Andrea, how are ya?
Said I'ma love you every day and every night. You got my heart a beat, right out of control, out of control. And when you smile at me, I see right to your soul, right to your soul. And in our times like these, when the world is so cold, you've got lips so sweet and a heart gold. Sometimes I find myself I stop and just stare in your eyes, and then I catch myself and I realize that you're a beacon shining bright in my life. And Jaja sent you to me, so I'm gonna make you my wife. Nothing I wouldn't do for you, baby girl, and that's real. Cause happiness is what I want you to feel.
Is it a head nod?
We make a move and seal up the deal.
Artist.
You got my heart a beat, right out of control, out of control.
Fellas, that's how we dance too, not true?
Me, I see right to your soul.
All night up at the dance floor, Tabo.
And in our times like these, when the world is so cold, you've got lips so sweet and a heart.
As much as we doing.
You got my heart a beat.
Laura's talking about she want dance.
Out of control.
Nope.
And when you smile at me,
Nope.
I see right to your soul. And
Not in these new shoes.
when the world is so cold, you've got lips so sweet and a heart gold. You got my heart a beat.
So first of all, much respect, much love. Thank you all so much for everybody rocking out. So here's the dilly, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the dilly. Here's the dilly. Here's the dilly. There's something happening, something going on that's a big issue, right? And it's something we've spoken about, continue to talk about, which is the gap in not communication but understanding. And not understanding in the terms of comprehension, but understanding, right? Between the OGs, the legends, you say? Well, let's take the legends out of it because they sometimes understand. We call them the old heads. We call them the OGs. We call them the elders. We call them all kind of things. You know what I mean? Not trying to be disrespectful or whatever the case may be. But it's tags and titles that they take with pride when it allows them to exert that OG status, right? But don't say it if you're not saying it in that regard. The OG status and the elder status, sometimes people don't want to hear that because they don't want to be called that because them say it's a term of, it's ageism, right? But when them want to tell you all kind of things, I make sure so you understand and you can't argue with me. What the first thing them draw for? The fact say, yo, man, old man, my elder, man, about long time, I see the thing long time, right? Couple of things. One, I love the concept of history. I've said this all the time, right? We learn from our history. It is something we should not ever shy away from because you got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going, right? But I stand by the sentiment that history can be great. Historians are often bad Because what happens a lot of times is people are trying to stay in the history, right? Evolution will always take its course, right? And a lot of times, as I have my conversations with the youths and I have a conversation with the elders, I've come to the conclusion, of course, the youths have their part to play, and so do the elders. But a lot of the elders don't help. Don't help. Not everybody that's on the pulpit is here to bless you. You know what I mean? They're there to preach. Not everybody that's in the classroom, standing up in front of the classroom, is there to teach. It's just where they are, exercising an agenda, talking to and not talking with, speaking a lot of fiction labeled as fact, substantiated by age, right? And it is unfortunate. I love having convo with who we deem the OGs, but a lot of people use history to nullify somebody else's point, right? If you're having a logical, factual, and rational conversation, somebody needs to make their point, which is normally sometimes BS. They go in the crate of history. And why? Because it's closer to their time than it is to yours, so you can't necessarily argue that, right? And even if you do research, I do a lot of research, then they also claim more authenticity from a historical standpoint because as far as they're concerned, it's their era and they were there, right? When the truth of the matter is this, a lot of things are biases. We are biased to our times. There is nobody that says my times make the worst anything. Now, I was listening to music in the 80s, early 80s, the 90s, the 2000s up until now. To me, and of course, my parents had a record collection and I love old music. So though I was listening to the 80s and 90s and 2000s up until now in real time, I listened to 70s music and early 80s music retroactively because I had the recordings, right? If you ask me, I think the best time of music for reggae, dancehall, hip hop, and R&B was the 90s, right? That's just my opinion. But folks who are 80s people, who are full functioning adults or young adults in the 80s, will tell you in no uncertain terms that no, the 80s were better. Then you talk to people who are telling you that the music of the 70s are the best thing ever, right? Not and what I say is this: the younger people give more credence, more appreciation, more respect to the older stuff than the elders give to the newer stuff. My daughter's born 2000. Her generation thinks that that's the greatest music. You know, I've heard young people say, oh, the music is a little off still, but most young people are not going to agree with you and tell you that the worst music is coming out now. It's their era. They relate to it more than we do. But because we're elders and we're older, we feel like we know. It's a tough thing to get elders to listen to anything other than themselves and their peers. Right? Because there's a certain level of entitlement that comes with that. Now, when we talk the music and the music of history, it's cool. I like to have logical, fundamental conversations in real time. What's going on right now? How are we going to address what's going on right now? The elders love to stay in the past, right? And they don't support now, and they don't support the future. They only support the past. And when I say support the past, they ain't buying the records from the past either. They're just sentimentally supporting the past, right? I'm a firm believer you can't use history to shortchange the future. You can't do it. What happened, happened. And it sets up the foundation for what happens now. Right? Don't think for a minute that trash music just start make now. Garbage music I make from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up. Right? Trash music was being made back then too. It just wasn't as easily distributed. So, for the most part, it never made its way to your airwaves, right? Laura say, I agree, not my style of communication, but I hear it happening. It is what it is, right? The OGs, there's a certain level of arrogance that the elders walk around with, not based on knowledge or experience, but based on age, right? There are certain things that I have grown so annoyed of. It's 2022. It's when we're talking about music right now. Don't mention Bob Marley. I love the music of Bob Marley. I love Marley's work. And I'd use the word Marley purposely. We'll get into that. But love the music of Bob Marley. Love his work. I consider him the king, like most do, in terms of he's the face and the brand that the world knows when it comes to reggae music. He's the one that established reggae music across the globe, which in turn had people gravitating to the island of Jamaica. Ironically, way before Jamaica gravitated toward Bob. The same elders them where right now I say Bob, 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 Bob were included in the people who weren't saying Bob, 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 Bob when Bob was here, right? But hey, we're talking about Bob Marley for the last 40 years, right? Or whatever the exact number is since he passed. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. I'm sick of every time the youths try to make some music. I'm sick of every time the youth try to make some headway, whether they're stumbling or fumbling, we say Bob. Because when Bob was stumbling or fumbling, you weren't saying Bob, you were saying something else, right? And it's so discouraging and disheartening. When I talk to the youth, I can hear it in the youth. It's just so disheartening. They just want to stay away from the conversation because majority of what they are torn and forced to say right now may be deemed disrespectful to the elders, right? But me no want to hear nothing about Bob Marley. I'm just going to be straight up. If I'm talking to an OG and Bob is your reference, I'm a dead the convo. Me no want to hear it. Bob's gone. Bob is gone. Right? And if we're going to get to that point where I talk about Bob, and the formula what Bob used, and Bob did it best, and Bob did this, and Bob did that, then you guys have failed a lot more than the youths have. Because at the end of the day, when Bob died, the producers that used to produce for Bob never did. The investors that made Bob who he is, because you best believe without the money, we'd be having this conversation right now. It's not just the music. It never is, right? Never, ever is. So the solid investment that was behind Bob never died. The musicians that were composing the music and playing along with Bob never did. The engineers them didn't die. The fans didn't die. The radio personalities that were playing Bob's music never died. So my OGs, old heads, elders, why y'all didn't create another Bob right after that or during that time frame? If it was a simple formula that you had to follow, which is the formula that Bob followed, and it was just him, he just happened to do it right, then when the next Bob there? Why is it that every 10, 15 years we're crying for the next Bob? We at one point we say a Garnet Silk. We say a Buju Banton when him turn ass. We say a Sizzla Kalonji. We say a Chronix. Why are we looking for another Bob? Pressuring the youths, whether directly or subconsciously, about being the next Bob and living up to the Bob Marley expectations. Right? What a purpose of that? To the point where it's now an adjective. You know, we're talking about Marley. It's pronoun Marley. It's no longer Bob Marley. When somebody want to be deep and profound with it, them drop the Bob and say, when Marley did this, the way Marley did it, when Marley was here, Marley's music. What the hell? Bob Marley, my name, all right? Because I don't hear in our walk on top, when Banton did this, when Ranks did that, when Cat did that. No, and I call the whole of the name, right? So call the man name full and stop the foolishness. It does not make you seem any deeper, any sharper, any more in the know when you say, when Marley did this, right? Because when the man was alive, if you didn't know him, you didn't call him Marley. Let's just keep it a buck, all right? So the thing is this. Let the man rest. Let Bob rest. Let the people who are making music right now, impact them how you want impact. Don't browbeat them with the Bob Marley syndrome. You're supposed to do it like how Bob did it. How did Bob do it? Tell me exactly how Bob did what he did and why he did what he did and why you never were able to replicate it with another artist. Maybe we should stop beating on the youth then because there was a Bob Marley because there was only one Bob. Maybe it's the intangibles that made Bob Bob. Not everybody has the same intangibles. Ever thought about that? Another thing we need to be honest about, old heads, OGs, elders, right? Don't be disrespectful to the times. Credit the times for the happenings. The time that Bob was making music in called for the music that Bob made. If Bob was born 1980, majority of them songs would never been recorded. There would have been no need for them, right? And on top of that, it would have just been a different era. There'd be no Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe would have already been independent, right? Not true. So there's a lot of songs that just would not have been around. The impact of the music, right? We're putting the pressure upon the people and everybody needs to be the next Bob, the next Bob, the next Bob. You know who makes great music, really great music, but I've never heard anybody put the pressure on them to be the next Bob? Bob's Kids. Look, but Stephen catalog is remarkable. You ever hear anybody pressure Stephen Marley to be the next Bob Marley? I've never heard anybody say that. Junior Gang, though, he does a different type of music. Profound. Man, ain't anybody talk about is Gang the next Bob? Ziggy the next Bob? None of them thing there. Let the youth them live, man. Me personally, don't come to him in a conversation about a Bob. Unless we're just talking about an album. If you talk like, yo, my favorite Bob Marley album, Talking Blues. Had a conversation about it. No, Kaya. Kaya yours, Talking Blues are mine. Right? For different reasons. I can tell you the reasons why. And I appreciate the music. I like compilations. Legend, which is one of the biggest selling albums of all time, which is the biggest selling Bob Marley album of all time, is a compilation. It wasn't an album. It's a compilation. You know what I'm saying? It's a compilation. Right? So, at the end of the day, I love it because all the hits are on there. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. You know, some people think it blasphemous. So I'm going to say all the hits are on there. I never Bob connect the same way. Let's just call a spade. I never Bob connect the same way. Well, go on, Sir Blackford, to say, what do you mean exactly by killing the music? Killing off the music of today. The artist's creativity and stifling the artist's creativity, stifling the artists from being who they are, putting this banner over their head that they're doing it, that they're not doing it the way Bob did it and the way it's supposed to be done. That's what I mean by killing off the music. You can't kill off the music from the past that already did what it's doing. But you're choking the new fruit and the new seed. That's what I mean by this constant badgering of history. Like I said, we need to know our history, yeah. But we can't live it. That's what makes history history. You're not supposed to live history day over and day over and day over. Right? Remember, there's no room for revolution if there's no revolutionary times. It is what it is. The times are not the same. It's not going to be the same. Right? And I personally feel when I have the conversation, when I speak to the youth, because again, my topic right about is based on having some conversation with some people the other day. And when I say the youth, I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adults here. But another generation, right? At the end of the day, the sentiment is, and I see it this way, a lot of time when people bring up the Bob Marley thing, you're not celebrating Bob. You're using Bob to discredit something else. It's no different from when people draw the Jesus reference or the this or the that. There's really nowhere to go. Because it's blasphemous to go against it or to disagree or whatever the case may be. So a lot of times, you not bring up Bob to celebrate Bob. You're using Bob for discredit something else. And I'll continue to say, every time the youths them do something and them not do it the way, and it doesn't have certain results, then we say, well, you need not do it like how Bob do it. You know what I'm saying? you weren't doing it. That's not how Bob did it. Ain't the right way. Bob did this, Bob did that. Right? And again, love Bob Marley, love the works. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, when Bob died, the investors didn't die, the musicians didn't die, the producers didn't die, the engineers didn't die, the fans didn't die, the radio personalities did not die. Way next Bob died. If it was just following the formula and doing it the way Bob did it, there would have been another Bob. Right? But there wasn't, for a reason. We got to let the youths them do for them thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't support derogatory music and whack music in any way, shape, or form. But even the creative ones that are doing good music don't get the love they're supposed to get because there's something innate with our OGs that just means it's like you're setting a ceiling for them, a glass ceiling to say, hey, no matter what you doing, remember there's levels to this. There's Bob. Right? Right? If you're going to say it was the man, because some people, and the truth is, there's something special about Bob. Something special about Bob. Right? So if it's the man himself, then he might just be an anomaly. He might just be an enigma. You can't judge the youth based on an anomaly or an enigma. Let them do what they do. Don't use the achievements of Bob to marginalize the achievement of others. Had some conversations in the last couple of weeks with some OGs, and you would swear that since Bob went away, nobody made good music and nobody sold music. The youth, them are going well. The times are different. People aren't consuming music the same way. The need for somebody to go buy a song has kind of gone because he can get it for free. To some degree, at this point in time, it's easier to get the music for free than it is to buy the music. So truthfully, it's not to say nobody to have the music. It's just that they ain't buying it. So right now, we're straight up asking for the support. When Bob them did I do it, I never support them I asked for. You had no choice but to buy the music. You had to buy the music if you wanted to listen to it. You had to buy the music if you wanted to consume it. So you bought it. All right? No, they don't have to buy it. So they are not buying it. Right? But that does not mean that every time certain things don't have a certain level of success, it's because it's a testament to the lack of quality. Right? Garnet Silk, God rest his soul, for as young as he was, made some phenomenal music. He doesn't have the catalog because he died. But does it mean that the quality of work that he has is inferior to the work of Bob? No. Right? When you hear albums like Till Shiloh, I ain't going to talk about the album, I'm not talking about the man, I'm not talking about his entire catalog. And there's some other albums that are good, but I use Till Shiloh because that's a benchmark type of an album. That's a quintessential album. That if I have a shelf that I'm putting greats on, again, not everything is a tier on one better than one and you're number one and I'm number two. But if I got a shelf up there and I got my Bobs up there, Till Shiloh I'll go up there too. Right? Sizzla Kalonji got a couple of albums, but particularly The Real Thing that will go up on that shelf too. Right? So there's music that was come out that's great. But again, listen, a lot of times people don't want people to be great. Right? I'm going to tell you something. I had some conversations with some people that, again, talking about family dynamics because there's a lot of things going on with people and their families these days. Always been, but, these days. There are many patriarchs in families that don't want the son to do better than them. They can't give up that whole concept of, I'm the guy that, I'm the patriarch, I'm the guy, I'm the cornerstone. People come to me for advice. People come to me for financial advice. People come to me for money. Might not even get them, but them coming to me for it. Now your son's growing up and your son's doing well, which should make you proud. Until it seems like your son's light is eclipsing yours. Now all of a sudden, many of the people who'd go to you for advice go to your son. No disrespect to you. They're not. It's not like they're not acknowledging the fact that you're the man. But they're now going to your son. Your son's doing well financially. So guess what? We're going to check him and see what's going on. What did you invest in? What you do? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, the father who should sit down and be proud and be like, that's my boy. Yeah. You would think that that's what's going on, but no. There's a little bit of gripe there. There's headbutting there. And all of a sudden, the father and the son can't have great relationship. Why? It's not because the son is a jerk, because he's a nice guy. It's the fact that you feel threatened that you're losing your patriarchal stance, your generational stronghold. You the man. And it's the same thing with a lot of the OGs when it comes to the music. It ain't about the quality of music that anybody else is making, because there is no room in your heart, in your ears, in your soul for anything other than what you want to set it up as. And that's cool. Until it starts to stifle what the youth them do, because you will stifle youth them creativity, and a lot of that has gone on, right? To the point where the youth them are like, I have that. I'm gonna just put out what's fun, what's funky, what the youth them, what my peers dig. There was a time when people used to do work to impress their parents. When you're out on the street with a friend, they do whatever to impress your friends, you know. But when it came to your grades, when it came to your this, when it came to your achievements and how you're trying to impress your parents. Even music, people are trying to impress the OGs. You know how dope that is, how heavy that is when the OGs them say, youth, your thing up there, you did a great job. You know what? Let me tell you something. That's worth its weight in gold 10 times over than when their peers say it. Trust me. Now, if that's worth so much to them, imagine how damaging the contrary is. Right? So like I say, if we're talking music, unless we're sitting down talking, Bob and Bob's era, right? If the conversation is about Exodus, hey, I'm good. But you see, if we're talking about the music of today and the youth making their music, men now want to hear nothing about no Bob Marley. Don't compare the youth them to no Bob Marley, and that'll kill the thing. We're killing spirits. Right? We're killing spirits. Right? The concept of history can be damning to the future. And again, like I say, somebody got quote Marcus Garvey now, right? First, with no concept of or no knowledge of the history. I know what am I go, whatever the case may be, don't strike. True. Yeah. But here, history is in the past. Learn from it. It doesn't mean repeat it. If you keep repeating history, there's no growth. Right? You know how much fail and stumble, Bob fail and stumble. You know how much fail and stumble, Bob fail and stumble. You know how many people were telling him that his predecessors are the real thing, not him. Now we all sit down and say, I him are the king. The same folks who were not saying that back then. Stop stifle the youth, them man. Stop kill the youth. And the youths use words like gatekeepers, and sometimes the gatekeepers, yes, are the people holding the doors and have impact and influence. But you have some soul gatekeepers too, some people where we lock out your soul, right? And some people where somebody would have worked with you if they would have just heard a good thing from a reputable voice and a name and a creditable name. You know what I'm saying? But you said something negative. Why? And it's not because the music negative and the music not good. Chronics, that album Chronology, that album there, a fire, That's another. 10 years from now, we're going to talk about that as the quintessential album of its time. Well, go on, Stan. Great to see you. George Prophet, large up yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just one of them thing there. I just one of them thing there. You know what I mean? Bobby Dean, listen, trust me. One of those things that I'm a firm believer. Anytime two people come across each other, especially if they spend time in each other's space, you're either building somebody up or you're breaking somebody down, right? It's physics. If one person's holding this in and one person hold this in and both people pulling, somebody is pulling the other, right? Especially if it's TSO, it's highly likely when I pull down. Where are you? Who are you? Why are you? Building or breaking, right? Again, not every OG really wants the youths to do well. I'm calling a spade. Because if the youths do well, then your era in your mind feels invalidated. You took up on track and field and all them things there. Usain Bolt are doing things, right? Breaking all them records. There are a lot of people who were so into the older runners, the runners of their generation. I mean, publicly they might do them thing, but they're not really a champion for both them kind of way there because they don't want those records from their eras to be obsolete. Right? But at what cost? If you say you love music and you love reggae and you love Jamaican music and dancehall or whatever the case may be, then shouldn't you want the youths them to come up right now and do it? And we'd probably hear somebody say, well, yeah, that's the point. That's what we want them to do. But they're not doing it. But at the end of the day, are you contributing to them not doing it? Are you? Because it's highly likely you are. Again, when the artists, there are folks I know that when artists drop good music, me don't hear nothing from them. I don't hear them saying the music is bad. Don't get me wrong, you know. Them not say the good music is bad. They're not doing that. But you just don't hear nothing. It's crickets. It's silence. But when the youths do trash, or what they deem trash, they're very verbose on that, very vocal, right? You hear them all day, all night. And the people making the music, they pay attention to that. And so you become the old man in the neighborhood, you become the uncle, you become the grandpa that instead of them looking at you with affection and affinity, they're looking at you the way they feel you're looking at them, with disdain. You know what I'm saying? I went to a military school, right? Military schools and stuff like that are rooted in tradition. There are things that when I come on campus that they do that I'm like, this is crazy. You can't do that to me, you're mad. No, Ray, I'm in a military school. And then I see the logic and the reason why things are done. And then it becomes custom, it becomes a part of me, and I laugh at it and whatever the case may be. And then it's no longer as taxing and as painful and as irritating as it was when you started, right? Because your camaraderie is there now and you see what's going on. And guess what else happening? You're no longer the grub man, the freshman, right? And guess what else is happening? You are getting also closer to young folks coming in. And guess when the other young folks come in, guess what? The same things that you were doing or you were complaining about it being done to you, guess who's doing it to them? You, right? No malicious intent. It's just passing on tradition. And if you ever are a part of institutions like those, I'll tell you that my batch is the best. We were the best football players, we're the best students, we're the best everything, right? But the one above us will tell you that them are the best. And then the one above them, I tell you, they're the best. And guess what? Every era says about the other one, y'all getting soft. Right? Y'all getting soft. Right? And as soft as you said they're getting, the other young people that's coming in under them are tortured by it. Them can't manage it either. Yet still we're saying they're getting soft. What's happening pretty much is we are just protective of our era. History we're trying to make in our story, right? Stan said, gee, remember Bob was about creativity. Do the OGs know what Bob, as a creative, would say of today's music? The creative process is not limited to any era. Great music gets made, more need to be played. Jano Star. Jano. So true. So true. That part there, when I say what Bob would think about today's music, guess what the thing about it? Because that's another thing that comes up in conversation sometimes. Was, again, talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. Boy, if Bob the there, we don't know. We just don't know. Don't claim to know everybody. Did y'all know Buju was going to take the route he took? We ain't know. Not after the man says it's not an easy road. Not you. Not you. Not after till shot. Not you. We don't never know. Right? So here's the deal. Everybody says, Bob, I don't know what Bob would have thought. I don't even know how creative Bob was, to be perfectly honest with you, because there are rumors that him to write everything with him sing, right? There's rumors that he didn't. I wasn't there, so I'm not going to speak on it. But I'm just saying, for everything that we say, somebody can refute. And because none of us were there, it's just going to be an argument back and forth, won by the older person in the conversation, because they have the leverage of age to say, I was that of my generation, right? But the thing is this, we always say, and not that that's what you're saying, but I'm just saying it triggers memories of my conversation, the concept of what would Bob, as a creator, we don't know. We don't know. You said Bob would encourage creativity. We don't know. And again, I'm so mindful of the things I say that they're going to come back, because some people, again, Bob and Jesus are driving the same car. And if Jesus had drive our car, Bob in the back. That's how we hold them. That's how we hold them. It's blasphemy to say certain things. But I'm going to tell you something. We just don't know. You know, we lost the king at a young age. And that's a tragedy, a travesty, and a detriment to the world of music. I'm not one of his kids, grandkids, or whatever, so I don't know how he was as a man, right? So I'm going to keep it music. That's a tragedy and a huge loss to the world of music. But here's the reality of it. One of the advantages Bob's had, ready for the blasphemy? He died young enough to where he didn't have an opportunity to muck up. Right? Let's call a spade a spade. Everybody said Bob would encourage creativity. Bob would be this, but the type of music what Bob would be talking about and love, peace, and kumbaya and go back to, right? Guess what? Bob died young enough to not have the opportunity to screw up. We talk about the creativity and whatever the case may be. If Bob was alive right now, we don't know. Bob might have depended on a song with Skilly Bang. You never know. Maybe the man would have see something in a Skilly Bang and be like, yo, the artist, you're mad. And next thing you hear, the Turn Down Your Lights remix or the Three Little Birds remix with Skilly Bang Bonnet. Right? So we don't know. A lot of the people who we deem as not being creative in the industry, we don't, and I say that as an artist. Artists see art. Right? Here's the thing. I in 2007, I put out an album called This Music Volume 1, Return to Vintage. There's a song on there, right? And Garken, who is more of a DJ, I'm of that Buju delivered it. He did the hook for me. I wanted to hear so the hook on there, and then I was going to have the singer come in and sing it back over. As an artist, somewhere in there, I heard art in his vocals on it. Not refined. He's not a singer by any means. No finesse in it. But there's just something on it. And I felt like, no, I actually want to keep that. No, years later, don't get me wrong, I still like it. And I still hear the art in it. But from a commercial standpoint, I look at it like it would have been better to have the singer sing it, because it would have sounded a certain way. Right? But at the time, you can't tell me that. I'm a creative. That's just what I was feeling, and I still do. Point being, we don't know. Artists do what artists do. Artists feel what artists feel. And there's no difference between Bob and the youth them right about now, except the finish line, or how far he got. Right? That's the thing about any effort, any work that you do, you're solely judged on the results. You're solely judged on the results. Right? It's sports. You bring in the coach. You pay him a crap load of money, and he brings you to the finals, and you win the chip. And what do we say? Genius. That's why we pay him the big bucks. That's why we brought him in. Same coach came in, didn't get it done. Guess what we say? Wrong guy. I knew he couldn't do it. Why are we paying him all that money? Should have kept the other guy. Right? Because we play the results. Right? No. If we had another artist that achieved the commercial success that Bob did, what would we do? Right? And I go right back to the original statement. If we're gonna chastise the young people, I must say them not creative enough and them work ethic not good enough and the music not good enough and it's not coming from a pure place and a true place or whatever the case may be. From the time when we lost Bob up until when we claimed that the crap music was being made, why we ain't create another Bob? The money that pushed Bob to where he was still there. The producers were still there. The musicians were still there. The engineers were still there. The fans were still there. Radio was still there. Why did we not create the other Bob? You see, that's how I'm from the business. I'm from corporate. If it's only one, it's a fluke. Or it's an anomaly. Right? It's an anomaly. It's an enigma. It's something special. It's lightning in a bottle. Right? Let's just call it what it is. Don't act like that guy there. I've been in sales jobs where they determine, okay, you know something, that person there, yeah, them have what we need. Right? And that person's a superstar every year. Just making the big bucks. Right? Maybe one or two. But the truth is they're being fed and they're being, they're getting alley-oops. Right? And the reason why the company does that is because they need somebody to be up there to set that benchmark for everybody else to strive for. Right? But when they're putting it off on everybody else, they don't put it off on that. They put it off as he's just that good. He's just that good of a sales guy. He's just that good of a you know what I mean? What he does, he's just that persistent. He's just that great a person. No. We create our legends. It is what it is. And there's a lot of things that went into making Bob that we never put into anybody else. So if we're going to blame some folks, or maybe not blame the youth, then I start blame whomever it was between then and now. Right? Man said they criticized Bob when he made music. The purists didn't like it. It's history creating itself. So true. So true. And here's the thing now. The same folks that criticized Bob are the same ones that are going to tell you right now that they didn't. They're going to tell you that, it was spectacular. He was special aside from right then, right there. You could see it. We knew it. Right? Same people, We knew it. When the truth is, everybody had a different opinion when he was doing what he was doing. Shoot, guess who else had a different opinion? He did too. Because at inception, let's just call a spade, Bob wasn't for the music being done that way also. He wasn't thrilled about it being played over a certain way. But relented, I'm sure, because of the investors, and whatever the case may be, and have too much. Once you get into certain circumstances, no different from today, sign with a major label, you do this and that, you have the machine behind you. Sometimes you just got to roll. Right? So, once that happened, he heard them. At that point in time, I'm sure he was in love. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know that's what it was going to sound like. Because I'm sure he was a purist himself. But I guarantee you, if it was up to Bob alone and nobody fought back, most of these songs that write about now, we have a sing and a sound, it would not sound the way they sound. Lyrics might have been the same, not the same impact, right? So all the things with it, so that's my gripe with the constant Bob talk. So all I ask is this: if we're having a Bob Marley conversation, we could talk Bob all day. Tell me the little story. I'm gonna sit down and listen to it because I love it. But you say if we talk about the youths and today's music, we don't hear nothing about no Bob Marley. None. If you want to talk Marley to me, talk Stephen Marley. Talk Damian Marley. Talk Kimani Marley. Right? Talk Skip Marley. I'm just saying. If we talking Marley, that I want to hear. I don't want to hear about Bob. I have a nice Bob Marley collection. I'll go listen to it. Right? Never gets old. Always relevant. Yep, I'm in it. But you can't use Bob for browbeat the youth them or any other legend to browbeat the youth them. Right? Stan said, no, the world told them Bob was special. It's all right. The world told them, His people, his own people, the world had to say he was special. But ask anybody right now who was around Bob if they could tell he was special. And guess what I'm going to tell you? Because I asked them. When I interview folks that were there, they all say, yeah, I saw it. I would like to be able to get Bob on the Zion lines right now. Say, yo, Bob, what go on? I guarantee him. The people them said this. I guarantee Bob would say, I lied him at them. I guarantee you, Bob would say, I lied him at them. You know what I'm saying? I would like to get Bob on the Zion lines because I know Bob would not agree with majority of the things, even though it's from people who are championing Bob Marley. Because again, and I use the man name sacrilegiously. You know what I'm saying? Bob, what do you think about them people? What am I saying?
But dig this. Me not too listen to what people say now because plenty of people are just pure hypocrite.
Exactly, that the man say. That the man say. That the man say. So again, when we have the conversations, it's cool if we're having a Bob convo. Stop setting these glass ceilings for the youth. Because truthfully, before them start, you talk the Bob, what you're telling the youths is, listen, there's levels to this that you can never attain. So try to do your best, knowing that that's the thing there. You can't be there. Because remember, if we do the math, Bob Marley is the highest selling artist from Jamaica. Not even say reggae, just overall from Jamaica to date. But let's backtrack since we love to do that. Right? Up until Bob died, the amount of records that Bob sold up prior to his death pales in comparison to many other artists that are alive today. If we're, again, apples to apples. Enough artists right now at their stage in their career, at the age that Bob was when he died, life, living for living, outsold and out affected impact-wise Bob Marley. Right? So, level playing field. Point I'm making is this. Different times, it don't mean that people just not doing it the right way, aka the Bob way. Because a man's no longer here, we put a lot of things on things when I really saw it going on. I have sat down and heard people tell me the science and dissect Bob Marley songs. And you can do that to a person that's not here, just like they do with Tupac. I guarantee you, some of them songs that were dissect and I say how deep it is and a science and whatever the case may be, was just an artist having a good time. Was just an artist being an artist. Write a song, all a vibe and come out. But no, he's not here. We put all kind of deep meanings on it and it mean this and Bob was in this space and I'm sorry, Marley. Because he's far surpassed being called Bob Marley or being Bob no more. It's Marley now, right? Marley. This is what Marley was doing. This is what Marley was up to. The Marley thought, the Marley way, right? Nonsense. Stop it. Bob never put in all that work and that effort for you to use his legacy as a cage or as a box for any other artist. The few Bob interviews I'm here, and I say few just based on his tenure, didn't paint him as that kind of a guy. I don't know, never there. Right? But I don't think Bob would appreciate the fact that we're using him as the ceiling under which we're keeping the youth. And we act like garbage music is something new. Garbage music coming from Bob Marley days and before that. Right? Long time garbage I make. Again, if there was iTunes back in them days, we would have heard a lot more of the garbage. If there was Instagram, if it was easy to make a music into an MP3 and send it to people all over the place back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and whatever the case may be, you know how much garbage would I hear? You know how much trash we would have heard? But the times didn't allow that. So now we're in a time where the people with the trash have as much access to distribute and deliver as do the people with the good music. So we hear a lot more of the trash than we would have normally heard. But I'd love for all of the OGs, all the elders, them, and this show is dedicated to the elders, them, right? I'd love if the elders, the OGs, would, when you hear good music, speak on the good music. Don't just speak on the bad music, because it's no different from how they treat us in our communities. You know, when people are doing great things and achieving good things, people of color, nobody not say nothing about it except us, and sometimes not even us. But when something happens negatively, it's all on the news and the cameras are up there and whatever the case may be, because we sensationalize that, the negative sells, right? You know what I mean? See, Lawrence. Stan said, Bob talk about the folks whose minds were in prison. Yep. And those minds never came out. Them up on a life sentence. Right? A lot. Again, like I said, there's hypocrisy in the history. Right? History dope, historians not. Because historians are trying to keep you in history. Right? And undermine the present, undermine the future. Because history is more important. They're historians. Right? A lot of people did great things and impactful things back then, not because they gave a damn about the future and their kids and their kids' kids, because they're just trying to make it better for themselves. And they did that, right? But then a lot of people who overcome those hurdles, they don't want you to go further past that. You need to stay in that zone in that moment, because if you go too far past that, then you might forget about their hurdles. You might forget about their triumph over those hurdles. So you want to live there. And again, it's biases and protecting our era. As I hear people talk all the time, all I hear are the biases. Protecting your era. Because some great something make after that. You know what I'm saying about that. I hear people talk about how great them collection is and how impactful the music. I mean, after Bob Marley album, but if you really love music, you know have Till Shallow too? Do you? Do you have Jamali's El Shaddai? Do you? You have Black Woman and Child. You have Praise Ija. You have The Real Thing by Sister Kalonji. If I read the music we talking about. Do you have It's Growing by Garnet Silk, which is the one album him do before him dead? A lot of songs, but the one real album. Do you have that? No, because it's not important. Because having those great albums, those great records, in your opinion, in your heart, in your mind, is chipping away at the reverence that we have for that one that we need to keep. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if we're going to put Garnet on the, Bob is already in the penthouse. But if Garnet good enough for up on the 14th floor and the penthouse is the 15th, well, damn it, we got to build another floor so we can put Bob up. No. He's not supposed to be the ceiling. And again, it's not about Bob. We talk about Bob a lot because that's what the OGs use all the time. Right? Revelation Part 1. The Root of Life, Stephen Marley. You listen to the album there? Put it on the shelf with the Bob Marley album there, Production, better than the Bob them, No Bob album not produced like that, Right? And even though we're switching over in terms of genre right about now, even Welcome to Jam Rock, from a subject matter, Drop it on the shelf there, You understand? Chronology, drop it on the shelf there, Don't play with the thing, Right? Drop it on the shelf. Again, Bob's the man. We know. But he's not the overseer, and I'm sure that's not what he wants his legacy to be, for y'all to be using Bob Marley as the ceiling, the glass ceiling for the youth them. Right? So let's stop living a history. Anytime you're talking to the youths, if you really care, if you really give a damn, and you want to have an impact, right? If you really want to have an impact, you really give a damn, you care. When you speak to the youths them, Talk to them about for them music. Talk to them about the impact, how it impacts you now. The feeling. Because remember, they're writing about today, you know. Again, remember, Bob Marley, if he went born in 1980, would not have sung Zimbabwe because there was no need to. And many other songs, Buffalo Soldier, there would have been no need to. Right? The times need to be credited for many things. Times create things. Right? The era, the time that Bob existed in, and we're not talking about just the point when he started putting out this music. Remember, people talk about their life and what they go through and what they see. So all his life up until then prepared him for that. And all the things he saw, the era he came through, is what came out in his music. Guess when up in 1990? None of that now go on. Not true? Without the revolutionary times, there is no revolution. No indictment on the people. Right? No indictment on the people to say they're not of revolutionary blood and we're in a revolutionary category and we ain't built like that. Nah. It just ain't revolutionary times, dog. We independent. To some degree. Right? But at the end of the day, we have to stop it, man. You know how much good music I make right about now? And when the youth, they make the good music, sometimes they even stop. They got to be making music for the peer because their peers is no longer important to impress the OGs. You know why? Because you can't impress them. You ever have somebody in your house, in your family that can cook like a real good OG where can cook? When they come to the crib, you don't even want to cook, even though your food turn up to your thing really good. You don't even want to cook. Because no matter how good your food is, they might criticize it. Not true. And you know why they do it? Because they're the chef in the family. They're the person who's renowned for their culinary skills. You know what I'm saying? And it must always be that. Your thing tastes good, but, you know what I mean? It could always use something else. Yo, it tastes very good, you know. Trust me, if you just drop a little bit more pimento into that, gone. The thing tastes very good now. If you just drop a little ginger into that in a grandson, may I tell you, superb, out of this world. Right? You just want to slip and broke on him up. I joke, me, I joke, me, make. Utah G, walk on large himself. Utah says, Bob Marley said, give me a session and not another version. Simply means we can't surpass Bob because that's what he wants. All right? Us to bring the baton further. Don't tell that to the OGs them though, because again, like we say, some can't help themselves. Let me tell you something. Majority of people would have probably find a way to suppress that music if they ever got the slightest inclination that it can surpass Bob. And those things happen in real life, you know. Legends are created. They are protected and they are preserved. So if somebody have a legendary status established, that's why there'll always be the next Michael Jackson, always be the next Michael Jordan. No matter how much ring you have, you can't beat him because we done put him on the legendary shelf already. He's already on the shelf of the legends. We ain't trying to replace that. You know what I mean? I remember when he shot over Brian Grant and, you know what I mean, Utah, boom. That's the best shot ever. No matter what Kobe did, no matter what LeBron did, we can't. The OGs must know, you mad? That's the picture, that's the poster. Right? That's how we are when it comes to the legendary thing. And again, I'm way too young to be, I wasn't around in the Bob days. But from what I see, my little research, what y'all have made of Bob is not what Bob would want to be made out to be. That's just my opinion. Right? So OGs, let's change up the thing a little bit. Right? You see, whenever the youth them come to its own music, keep history where it's at. History. Because don't think from it that them don't know the history too. Let me tell you something. There's nothing, and I try to be conscious of it with my daughter, you know. We talk about old people. You remember we start out the conversation that I feel like I'm getting old because of certain signs. We're going to go them over. Signs I'm getting old. I'm buying sneakers based on comfort. Remember that? Not just because it's fly. Signs I'm getting old. Loud music is starting to bother me. Right? Signs I'm getting old. I got a hip now. I know what my hip is. Never knew it as a youth. Not you. Signs I'm getting old. I'm going on vacation to actually rest. Signs I'm getting old. Taking pills, baby. Vitamins every day. You're not even have to remind me. Signs I'm getting old. You know what sign that you are old? The need to lecture. I know a couple of old folks in my family. Even if there's nothing to lecture about, them I gotta find something to lecture about. Because they have to. It is what keeps them, what makes them, them. It's what makes your great-grandma, your great-grandma, your great-grandpa, your great-grandpa. The fact that no matter when, anytime they make eye contact, they got a lecture for you. Right? And sometimes you sit down for the lecture because you're respectful and John, you love grandpa, still not the lecture. You won't hear a damn thing grandpa said. Tuned out because grandpa's just a lecturer and you're just there to facilitate. Sometimes, keep it in the now, man. You know, if you hear something, give some advice. If something sound good, actually say it sound good. No matter tell the man say, you know, say you could have, yo, sound good, you know. But that sound, boy, if Barrio here never did. Jano, if this all did mix over King Tubby, yo. I hate that crap, man. If it good, it good. Right? Is it because of the fact that it can't be done that way? It is what it is. Because we have a bias when it comes to better too, you know. I had this convo too. Aretha Franklin. Is Aretha Franklin technically a greater vocalist than Whitney? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Does Aretha record sound better than Whitney one from a production standpoint? No. Impossible. Why? Because the years after, the technology got better. Even Aretha's newer music, while they're not as impactful and as big a hit, but sonically they're better than the earlier works. Why? Just because now she got 20 tracks on the board when they only had 4. She was able to do some retakes rather than the reel-to-reel, the one track, right? So as technology gets better, things get better. The production quality, for those people who care and want it to sound better, got better. So the Whitney recordings coming up to her expiration, way better than the Aretha recordings. Doesn't make her a better singer. But if you say that too loud, people fire upon you. Because how dare you say in any way, shape, or form that Aretha wasn't the best. Right? Now, Beyonce, younger chick, way greater technology, way more resources, right? Disposable resources that are stronger, bigger, better, but cost a lot less because of technology. Her production stamp gonna come out sounding way better than Whitney's. But the sentiment of what Whitney Houston is, we can't. You're mad how you forgot to say that. And those are the biases that we carry within us. Biases that the older folks will never admit to. And again, love the OGs. If y'all know me, I'm way more inclined to sit down and have a conversation with the OGs than I am to have with the youth. You see who come through the studio. You think it's because the young folks don't want to come through too? They can come through, but I'm bored. You know what I mean? If I tell you right now, my favorite conversations, they're going to be, it's the Bobby Digitals of the world. It's the Dermot Hussies of the world. Them convos, the Freddies of the world, them kind of convo there. And I just don't indictment or disrespect to the younger folks, but yo, I'm with you right now in this realm. We good. So what you telling me we can't relate to? But when I talk to the OGs, they're telling me stuff that predates me. I'm like, what? That's my time travel. Go back then. Like I told Bobby Digital Dixon, I never got the opportunity to meet Dennis Brown. He's gone. I never got the opportunity to meet Garnet, like he's gone. So guess what? You have to go carry me back then or introduce me to him. Please? Could you take me back in time or introduce me to them? Can I have a conversation with D Brown and Garnet through you? That's what we did. Right? That's reverence. I love talk to the OG them. But I'm just saying, 2022, 1978 is 1978. Right? You cannot in any way, shape, or form. And I know many people vex and some people not even want, and they will never say. But again, it's a selfishness because the truth of the matter is this. It ain't about Bob. It's about you. It's you attaching yourself to the time, to the era, to the legacy. A your era, a your time, a your legacy too. In adverse to what the youths are going right about now. So you're trampling upon their creativity, trampling upon their souls, trampling upon them energy. Just because you have to establish the fact that, yo, That's the real thing, you know. You ever tell the OGs or some of the elders them about new music yet? It's like them afraid for Bob do it, them afraid for enjoy it. It's like they don't want to enjoy it. Again, the chef in your family, take him somewhere and get him some food, especially if you cook it. Especially if it's you cook it. He refuses to enjoy it no matter how good it is. Because he the chef in the family. He's the one that's revered and should be adored for his cooking. Not young buck. Right? And don't get it twisted. Not all the OGs really want to see you shine. They don't. Because it validates the theory that the best is behind. And they're not really so vested and invested in the fact that the best is behind. That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is the best is behind. But I was there. I was a part of the best. Right? Again, 90s to me, musically the best thing ever. Dancehall, especially reggae, hip-hop, R&B, right? Best time. 90s. People arguing with me about the 80s. If you got headphones and speakers and hear the same stuff I heard, you know you're lying. People talk about the 70s. If you listen to music, you know it's a lie. But hey, it's your era. And you're holding on to that. I ain't mad at you. It is what it is. I'm just saying, stop the bullshit. You know what I mean? Stop the nonsense. And again, if we're having a Bob Marley conversation, we can have it all day. But if we're talking music from 2022, music right about now, don't mention Bob to me because I'm hanging up. Straight up. I don't want to hear it. Don't. Tired of historians. And I love history. Hate historians. Love history. Right? The hypocrisy. Unchain themselves, Utan says. Because artists are here with great music, but some artists close the door just because of family legacy. That's another show. And guess what? Like the physical aspect of it is what it is, you know. If somebody shuts the door on you for whatever reason, hey, is what it is between you and them, right? But when you do it for no reason, but for protect you, and again, you know, not even about shutting the door and stopping somebody from physically getting their stuff out there. I'm talking right now about stepping on somebody's creativity and dampening them soul and them feeling because you want to protect a time of old, which has jack shit to do with the artist that you're protecting or whatever the case may be. It's all about you and your era. Because I refuse to think that all these artists that you think are not good, if Bob was still alive, he wouldn't have tune with one of them. You never know. I'm telling you what, I don't know. We don't know. You know, people always say, boy, if Bob was here, boy, Bob would have rolled in that grave if he hear the music of today. Oh, you know, say Bob in that grave about Sablanca. Say, yo, that's Killy Bang that bud. Everything serves its purpose. You know what I mean? Say he want to hear it to motivate himself or for whatever the case may be. Right? But at the end of the day, the whole concept of what Marley would do and what Marley would think and how the creativity of Marley, we don't know. The man gone. We don't know. Again, gone too young to mess up. Right? That's one of the things about music and catalogs, you know. When you stop, especially if you put in enough work, sometimes it is the best thing for your legacy, not for your family that loves you, not for the people who are hurting for you to gone, but for the musical legacy. Sometimes that's the best thing that happened to you. That's why some of the artists that have made one album and two albums and solid ones and just stop. We look at them reverently. Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? If Dre was putting out albums after albums after albums, you know what bullshit he would have put out? You know how much he would have put out? He would not be worth what he's worth right about now because his catalog would have been diluted. Oh, me know that? Check says like a Lange. Right? Up until about Soul Deep, you couldn't tell me nothing. Nothing. Right? Kalanji's catalog was that catalog. But time undid that because a lot of stuff got made after that chipped away at that. Right? Now, does it mean that those albums aren't exactly what they were? Hell yeah, they still are. I don't feel any less about those albums. Nah, they still fire. Still great. The meter did not move on the album, on the body of work, on the music. But the rest of the stuff that came out that was inferior affects the potency of the entire catalog. And that's the thing. We always, I said, well, Bob the Day, Bob the Day, Bob the Day. We not know. We not know. Bob would have probably have a tune with Killer. Bob would have something with Beanie Man. Bob would have something with this a person. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let it be. So like I said, if we talking music, about today's music, I bring up Bob to me, I'm going to tell you that's bull. I don't want to hear that. I'm just saying. I don't want to hear it. Love Bob. Right? Can't vex with me. I own a couple albums, damn it. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. But right about now, unless we just, when it comes to stuff like that, now I'm Stephen Marley. Talk to me about Stephen Marley. Talk to me about, I'm not even the biggest Ziggy fan, but talk about Ziggy. Not the biggest Julian Marley fan. Talk about Julian. Right? But me I talk about the haters. Stephen Marley. Genius. Beautiful. And I'm straight up saying that album Revelation. And more too, we talk about mind control and all them things, but just like on the love draw for the biggest and best of Bob, I'm a draw for that too. Revelation Part 1. Right? Put it right up on the shelf with Exodus and them music. I don't care what y'all say. Right? Welcome to Jamrock. Put it right up there. Different genre, but put it right up there. Potency wise, yeah man. On par with his daddy. Know what I mean? Kimani got some dope stuff out there. I ain't putting it on the shelf with his daddy, but I'm an artist. Love his music. Check out radio. It's a fire chain. You know what I mean? Conversation. Kimani and Gentleman. Fire things. You know what I mean? Artists them have catalog, man. Artists them have catalog. I want to pressure everybody else to be the next Bob Marley, but I don't pressure none of the Marley kids to be the next Bob Marley. I don't understand it. That's another show too. Nobody put the pressure on the Marley kids to be the next Bob Marley, but every other artist with Natty out here on music gonna push pressure them to be the next Bob. Huh? Why? Tell me. Right? But again, stop it. Come on. I can't believe me I quote Jack Youre, but Fantan Moja, both of which, but I can't believe me I quote them in saying this. I don't know, Bill great man. I don't only kill great man. You know what I'm saying? You know Bill great man, we only kill great man. You know what I mean? Underrate man. Build up, man. Build up enough. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to put a band-aid. I'm not putting a lipstick on the pig here. I'm not putting a band-aid over the thing. And I said, bull crap now, come on to now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying all that. I'm not. It's there. But stop act like it's something new. Bull crap I make from Bob Marley days. Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? It I make from then. Right? And again, allow the legend to be the legend, because I get the impression from what I've seen that Bob love music and Bob love artists. I'm going to tell you something. It's almost that time. It's been that time. Mr. Willie Stewart, the legendary Mr. Willie Stewart from the band Third World, right? Richie Dilly from Third World. The man, Grammy-nominated musicians and sold millions of records and have traveled the world, and they're legends in their own right. Right? Legends in their own right. In 2000, from the 90s, from like 1999, 2000, Richie Dilly used to go on the road and come back and we in the garage and make music. And yo, dads, listen to this. What do you think? And Richie listened and said, come man, come, try this, try that, come. That's gone on tour. Come back with also machine. For leave, for go and make music and go and think and we're on purpose today. We do our thing. That, oh no, that not why that's so now we try that. Always encouragement. By the time 2007 came and I putting out that album, Richie's playing on a song on that album. Mr. Willie Stewart, who wasn't even in the band at that time, playing drum on a track for me. These are legendary musicians. All they did was encourage, right? I'm on stage performing with my band and Barry Hammond say, not on microphone or whatever, but just pull it to the side, never have to say it and say, I love one I go on with. Keep making the music, keep doing what you're doing. You see, because Mr. Richie Daly fed life into me and others around me and encouraged and nurtured. You see, because Mr. Willie Stewart did the same. Again, excellent musicians, legends, playing on my first album. And none of these productions are the greatest from a production standpoint. And great productions, I'm referring to. But I mean, working within the parameters that we were, and I like to think that makes a tough gang. You understand? But it sounds good. But just the fact that their names are going to be attached to that permanently. They have their own legacies. And could I say no? But no. Them nurture and them hear something, them say, boy, yeah. Hey, worthy of the thing. Boom, them play on it. Barry's a star. All him have to do for him thing and get him money and walk. Him have to seek we out and find we if we're going to give you a compliment. So as a result of that, you can't tell me none. As a result of those elders, those OGs pouring water into my well, right? That nurtured, that helped me grow. And as a result, I'll continue to do what I do. Imagine if they were the ones that were going to create a glass ceiling for me. And I'm saying me because I'm only speaking on my behalf. It wasn't just me. It's many others, right, that grew up under that tutelage and learned and was nurtured and right there. But imagine if they didn't do that. Be a different person. I probably wouldn't, because it's the music that put me here. So I would not be here talking to you right now. I'm sure some of the OGs probably wouldn't mind. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I like that talk that, Stan, respect you, Tan, that makes you go harder and better. Absolutely. Because you want to make these people proud. You want to make these legends proud. Again, I want to make Richie proud. And guess what's the funny thing about it? Every time I put out a new project, before it touch the road, I send it go get them because I want to hear their opinion because I want to make these gentlemen proud. You know what I'm saying? I want to make them proud. But imagine if they had put me in a position where I don't even want to hear their opinion. Then I would probably be putting out a lot more inferior stuff because I wouldn't have had them for some form of quality assurance and give me some opinions and whatever. And sometimes just a thumbs up, even a thumbs down. But give me that thumbs up, then I'm like, yeah, I'm good, I'm comfortable. And they're not BSing me. They're right, they're going to tell me something right. So imagine if I had that. Who knows? Stuff would have sounded and looked a lot different. Stan says Bob's legacy is frozen in time. It is frozen in time. It is frozen in time. And the unfortunate thing is, we are trying to freeze everybody in this time. Because we feel, say, if people get closer and closer to Bob, they're going to thaw out him thing. You know how thaw out. It's frozen in time. It's solid. Can't go away. Can't go away. But we're so concerned about others, the upcomers, and how it will affect that legacy. Because the truth is, that's what it is. But the man's legacy is so cemented that there's nothing you can do. It doesn't mean another artist can't come out and sell more than him at some point in time. I mean, I ain't betting no money on it, but you don't know. You know? And the impact of somebody else, I don't know. Because what happened pretty much is he's got years and years. You got a 40-year head start on what's going on right now. And your work is so good that it continues to be relevant right now. So no matter what happens right now, you're talking about if you decide to make some music right about now, 40 years plus now, yeah, compared to what you make right now. You shouldn't be comparing. So OGs, stop comparing the youths to, and again, for clarification, and my apologies to anybody who take it from a Bob Marley standpoint. We were talking about the biggest names. I had to use Bob, but it's not just Bob. It's not just Bob. It's just that we have that as the benchmark and the bookmark because nobody can question that. Know what I mean? Junior Gang told me in an interview he doesn't take on the pressure. Stan says, and you know what's funny? I sat down with Gang and had the reasonings. Man, I wish I had a camera on or a microphone. Sit down Gang at 2 hours. There's a whole of chat and a whole of reasoning. And his demeanor to me, like I said, I've never met Bob. But his demeanor to me is the closest to what I hear people describe Bob as. And you're right. He doesn't seem pressured or bothered. We have conversations. We've spoken about that. He doesn't seem pressured or bothered about it. He knows the reverence and he knows the legacy. But what I have to respect that man, Junior Gang, for, is that he also said to me, he doesn't take it for granted that the legacy worked in his favor. It helped him. It's not that, don't get me wrong. When it comes to work ethic, I have never come across a person with a work ethic like Junior Gang. People say Bob work ethic, but me never did it. I tell you about Gang. Junior Gang work ethic, second to none in my opinion based on what I saw. The quality of music on the man put out is second to none too. Is what it is, right? But the humility in being able to say, my path is not the same as everybody else's path. And that's a great thing because that's not no negative thing. I want to do so well at anything I do that the fact that my daughter has my name, it'll help her to propel her. It's not going to give her a free ride, but it just makes the pathway different for her. It makes the ears listen. Now, if it's trash, it's trash. I'm sure if Gang was putting out trash, he would have a total different outcome. And everybody with the last name Marley, a star, and have this and that. I mean, no indictment, no disrespect, but if it was just all about the last name, Julian Marley would be way bigger, right? But that's just a testament to show, say, it's not just about, okay, stamp the last name on your back and put on the jersey and you're good to go. No. And again, no disrespect to Julian or nobody. But I'm just saying, stop using Bob to put a glass ceiling on other people in your selfish attempts to protect your era. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Know what I mean? It's way past my time. Have you gone out and gotten the single yet? Brand new single, Peace of Mind is a Holiday by yours truly, G. Cole. It came out on Friday. I want to thank everybody that went out and supported thus far. It's on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to music, Tidal, wherever. Let's go check it out. Peace of Mind is a Holiday is the name of the song. Again, my latest tune. And, I've had some people hit me up and say, listen, we not do iTunes and we not do Spotify and we not do them thing there. Guess what? If you don't want to do that, Cash App, $ Homegrown with G. Cole. Just support the movement. It doesn't matter what it is, $1, $1 million, or whatever the case may be. Just buy what it would have cost you on iTunes, all right? And guess what I will do? When you do it, just put your email address on there. I'm going to email you the song. I'll email you the artwork, and I will email you a song from my first album. Just so that, because this is my latest release, so I must email you a song from my first album. I'll just choose one, and so that you'll have something from the first album from day one and something from today. All right? So again, if you're the person who says iTunes and stuff like that is not what I do, how else can I get it? Cash App, Homegrown with G. Cole, right? The $ thing, it's Homegrown with G. Cole. I make everything simple and support the movement and just put your email address in, all right? The song I'm talking about is this right here.
Whoa, I say you're never gonna get me down. Oh no, peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. It's such a blessing to be alive in this world that we all reside. And you can call it what you want to. I just love my chilling time. I get children play. I read them a book and I tell them stories. You should hear the things they say. And every time somebody greets me, says hello, I take it easy. I say hello now, how you feeling? You be safe, it was a pleasure meeting you. Peace of mind is a holiday. Whoa.
Lodge up J Vibe.
I say you're never gonna
J Vibe Productions. It's called Peace of Mind is a Holiday. Brand spanking new single, ladies and gentlemen. Go get your copy, alright?
Peace of mind is a holiday. It is a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday. And it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. It's such a blessing to be alive in this world that we all reside. And you can call it to what you want to. I just love my chilling time. I get a thrill like every day, sitting here and watching the children play. I read them a book and I tell them stories. You should hear the things they say. And every time somebody greets me, says hello, I take it easy. I say hello now, how you feeling? You be safe, it was a pleasure meeting you. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take.
That's how I feel, man.
Every time that I make this journey,
Peace of mind's a holiday. I cherish it
blows my mind
so
away.
much.
Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. There's no reason to get upset. Just says to do your part and he's gonna do the rest. Don't hurt your heart, it only causes stress. You may not realize it, but you're truly blessed. And I know sometimes it's hard. You've worked all day and you don't see rewards. Come on, my brother, let down your guard. Aim for the skies, you might just reach the stars. I know it's money that you're trying to make, but if you're tired, you should take a break. It's not worth it if you break down. There's just a way too much at stake. Take a vacation if you want to. Spend some time with the ones that want you to be okay, because they love you. Oh my God, I said I wanna thank you. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make my journey, it just blows my mind away. Whoa, whoa, yeah. I say you're never gonna get me down. Oh no, oh no. Take a vacation if you want to. Spend some time with the ones that want you to be okay, because they love you. Oh my God, Chico, just wanna thank you. Peace of mind is a holiday.
Peace of mind is a holiday.
It's a trip that I love to take.
Yes, man.
And every time that I make this journey, it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take.
Give thanks, Bobby Dean. I appreciate it.
That I make my journey,
Thank you so much.
it just blows my mind away. Peace of mind is a holiday, and it's a trip that I love to take. And every time that I make this journey,
We're gonna do an episode when we go behind it, you know what I mean? Talk to the producer, get the whole history behind the song, you know? Yes, man.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole。
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
You got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank y'all. Again, like I said, the song's out right now. Brand spanking new joint. It's called Peace of Mind is a Holiday. If you've gotten it already, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Stan said Bob did what he was supposed to do for his time. Today's social context is different. Today's art, music reflects their social content. Gospel. I wish instead of saying like, you don't want to say gospel. Let's click on it and say gospel. Stan, here's the unfortunate thing about it. Many peers won't share the sentiment because them just caught up in that. Well, then again, you're a young boy, you're a young dude anyway. You know what I mean? You need some more gray hair. That's why that's the thing, Stan. But realize the thing, you know. You need some more gray hair, man, because you know what I mean. They I joke, baby. But that's a sentiment that I wish everybody could realize. You know, I don't even want to realize because many do. I think they do. I think people just don't want to accept, and ain't nothing wrong with holding on to your thing. I am mad at you, but at the expense of what? You know, don't do it at the expense of upcoming talent and art and so forth. All right, one of them there. Got to get a couple of OGs on the horn with me, and I mean, today was just that day there. But anyways, I got to roll up out of here. Again, remember, grab the thing on iTunes or wherever you grab it. If you're not an iTunes person, like many people are saying they're not an iTunes person, again, Cash App, Homegrown with G. Cole, support the artist in whatever way you want to. I'm going to send you the song, I'm going to send you the artwork, and I'm going to send you a gift too, all right? I got to roll up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much. Stan, I appreciate it. Andrea, much love. Bobby Dean, much love. Lawrence, everybody. Julia, everybody. I got to roll.
Whoa, I say you're never gonna